Hello everyone. So in this video I will be discussing about states and events. Okay, so the previous one was components and props, and in this video I will be showing you about states and events. Okay, so this is a class component and it has a state of its own. So if I give state equals, now make sure for newer versions of React this type of state is acceptable. For older version I will show you in a little bit of time. Okay, so state, and if I say, let's say some text, and here let's say here if I give hello world, and here if I write in a h1 tag this dot, oh sorry, I have to give it within curly braces, this dot state dot text, and if I play this you will see a hello world coming up. Okay, so this one is a state, and I'll just comment this out for a little bit of time. The other one, for older versions you can use state in a following manner. So you declare a constructor, here you give props, here you give super. So super actually is for inheriting the super class of props. Okay, so super class. Okay, and this is the actually the basic syntax actually of how we use this state in the older versions. Okay, so state equals, and here if I say, let's say some text, and let's say wow it's awesome. So here now if I play this, what just happened? Oh, I think about this one. Now let's see state, oh sorry, this dot state, since in the previous version we are using it within the constructor. Okay, so now if I give wow it's awesome. Okay, so this is the way we declare a state. Now why we use states, that's the question, right? So actually why we use React is for its functionality of dynamic browsing. Okay, so like see, think if you have a website, let's say Facebook, you see couple of things keep on working and updates keep on coming and there is no page refresh at all. So that is one of the reasons why React has become so popular. Okay, so I'll show you just now how we can do that. So here we'll have let's say button. Okay, so first of all let's say we'll have a count and we'll give it a 0, and we'll have a button over here, let's say button, and this will have a this dot state dot count, and if you play this it will give a 0, but on click nothing happens actually. Okay, so we will be now using events. What will event do is event will give a dynamic behavior. Okay, so on click equals will give this sorry, will give this within this dot, let's say handle click. So this can be any name, this is just a functional name and a convention I have used, but you can use any name. Okay, so here let's say handle click. Now if you use the older versions of React, then you can't, then you have to use it in a old traditional way where you have to bind this within the state. Okay, you have to write something in the constructor like this dot bind and you bind it, but in the recent versions you just give it in this way using arrow functions. Okay, now what is arrow function is, this does not have a this of its own. Okay, that means if you declare something as this over here, it actually means you are referring to the this of this entire class. So for this is one of the reasons, and you don't need to bind and all those things, so this is much more appropriate over here. So here if I give this dot set state, this is the function which will give it a virtual kind of DOM. It will create a virtual DOM over this actual DOM. Okay, so over this here in this dot state you write, let's say, count, and you give this dot state dot count plus 1. So basically what you are doing is you are giving this count of the current state, the count of the older state plus 1. So let's see whether that works. So if you click this, now you can see this is incrementing. Okay, so this is the way, and you can see there is no page refresh. Look at that over there. So this is a basic functionality of this React, and now I'll show you another functionality of this same state and events. Okay, so let's say I have a text over here, text, and this is blank, and now I have an input. Okay, so input type equals text, and let's say this is a input, and we'll give it a value of this dot state dot txt text. Okay, now if I click this, you see if I write something, nothing actually, I am typing but nothing actually happens, since this text value is fixed to the current state, right? It's constant and it's empty. Now if you now in order to change this state, we'll give on change. This is another event handler. Okay, so what this will do is it will just set the current state to this. Okay, so let's say this, oh sorry, and here this dot handle change. This is a convention I am using, but and it's very common, you will see in the codes of the documentation, but you can give here basically any name to this function. Okay, so here if you go, you will give handle change equals, and here you go, but here I'll give it a event. This is for the event value. Okay, so this is something like this dot set state, and here you will give this text a value, right? So e dot target dot value. So basically what it is doing is it is taking this as a target and setting the value of the current state to this. Okay, so now if I play this, if you see, if I type something, it actually works. Now what is the fun part of this is you can display this over here. So let's say I have a, let's give a little bit of gap over here, and here I have a h1 and h1 tag closing, and here let's say if I have this dot state dot and this txt, and now you will see something happening, hello world. Whatever you type over here, it will come over there. So the state is actually changing with the event. Okay, so this is the dynamic behavior we can achieve with React.js. So hope you like this video. Thanks for subscribing.